I show up on the set with not a shot list or no storyboards or anything like that. All right, I mean, for like a really big cinematic sequence, like I knew I wanted to have that crane shot. That's not your job. You don't need to know any of that. What you need to know is you need to have a vision and you need to know how to express it. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. Laugh. It's not your job to create your vision. It's your job to have a vision. And then it's your job to hire talented individuals, to hire talented artists who understand your vision. And you articulate it to them, and then they take your vision and they create it. And by them creating it, you part it back a little bit, you add a little bit to it, but your vision is still a two-dimensional vision. They will take the different elements of your vision and make it three-dimensional. And then you'll get back more than you gave them, and then you'll know even more what you're talking about and what you're seeing, and then the vision will get filled in. You think you have to do everything, and you don't. You don't need to know anything about sewing to have wonderful costumes in your films. You just need to express what you want to the costume designers. You don't need to have a degree in engineering to have magnificent sets in your pieces. You need to describe what it is you want. You don't need to know how to take a bunch of different light stands and put them together to create a specific lighting effect. That's not your job. You don't need to know any of that. What you need to know is you need to have a vision and you need to know how to express it. And then you let the other people take it and do it for you. That is what a director does. I've always been pretty attuned. I've always considered myself a part of the audience. So I don't like second guess it as far as like, I'm gonna smarten it up or dumb it down or do anything to get an unnatural response. I know how I feel when I'm being jerked around, and it's fun. And I do like jerking them around a little bit, and it's pretty easy.
What do you make of all this?
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion. I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped us?
Audiences didn't even realize how attuned they had got to the contrivances of movies because they were so used to it. So you could use that against them. You could leave the breadcrumbs that would indicate that you were going to go the way all the other films had gone. And then all of a sudden you make a quick left turn, and they're not prepared for that. They didn't even know that they were anticipating what was going to happen next, but they were. And so then you use their own knowledge against them. And that's exciting. Now all of a sudden the storytelling is infused with something. Now you can't predict it. I thought you were going to, I never thought that guy would die. Or I know that guy's a goner. Oh no, he's not a goner. All right, oh my God. The hero just killed that person, and the innocent people are dying, and the hero doesn't care, and they're just like cracking jokes and they're moving on. You can see all kinds of movies, but when a movie really, really does it to me, it's because it's made me feel many different emotions. I want to be the conductor, and you're my orchestra. And the sounds that I make you to make, and the feelings I get you to feel, and then I stop you from feeling those feelings, and I give you something else to feel, and then I stop you from feeling that and make you feel something else yet again. Well, if a director can do that, if a director can pull it off, well, that's a real lucky audience member, because you've really had an experience that night. You went to the movies. That was worth leaving the house, because hopefully you're doing it in sync and in unison with other people around you, and you're all having those feelings. And I can't help but make my stuff funny because I just think of things in a humorous way. Now, it doesn't mean that it's all a big joke, and it doesn't mean it's all just to laugh it off. It's not all a big joke. So I do like the idea that I can do to the audience, laugh, 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 stop laughing, laugh. All right, and maybe that stop laughing is something not so funny. Maybe that stop laughing is something horrific. Now, if I'm doing a movie about slavery, I don't mind traumatizing the audience. You should be somewhat traumatized in watching a film about slavery. You need to know what America was like at that time. You need to know what slavery means per se to some people, to indulge in that, to take you down that road and to make you experience those things. But then to actually be able to get you back onto the story again, and then actually after experiencing that to get you to laugh later, that's to me that's an accomplishment. But to actually get you smiling and clapping at something that's almost absurd, right? By the end is well, that's a good time at the movies, I think.
John Riddle.
I got I started working at this video store, was pretty much what you're talking about around that time, and it was great at first because I'd always hated day jobs and stuff, and so I got a day job and it ended up being pretty good. But admittedly, I was there for 5 years. At a certain point, it was a narcotic. All right, I didn't have to keep pursuing my dreams because, it's not what I want to do, but it's sort of kind of close. And if I didn't have an artist soul burning in me, I could have made myself happy with that. I could, if I didn't have an artist soul burning to get out, I could have, walked backwards a couple steps and just done that. And it would have been a fulfilling, well, to anybody else, it would have been a fulfilling life. It wouldn't have been for me because I would have known I would have had something to say that I didn't get a chance to say. But it did put me to sleep for a while. And I've always just thought, what really got everything kind of truly going for me, you could point out a lot of different things, but the bottom line is the fact that I realized that even the group of people I hung around with, they were all great fellas and great gals. But, it was easy for me to think that I was doing a lot because I was doing more to try to move myself forward than they were. But, that's not, I'm a big fish in a puddle. So what? All right, they're not doing anything. All right, so yeah, I'm doing more than them. But I realized that actually I need to get my ass out to Hollywood and meet other people who are, in my category or working a little higher, and I should be the weakest link in my chain that I have, and that'll make me be stronger. It'll make me run faster. Like an analogy I've always used is, all right, if you run the 100-yard dash with people that can't run as fast as you, yeah, you'll win, hands down, you know that. But if you run with people much faster than you, all right, yeah, you might come in last every single time, but your time will be better because they're making you run all the faster. They're making you dig down just a little bit more. It doesn't matter that you won, your time is faster. And that's what I knew I had to do. I had to get out of Loserville and throw myself into a place where, this is what the fuckers do for a living.
You don't have to know how to make a movie. If you truly love cinema with all your heart and with enough passion, you can't help but make a good movie. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to know a lens, a 40 and a 50 and all that shit. Crossing the line, none of that shit's important. If you just truly love cinema with enough passion and you really love it, then you can't help but make a good movie.
I'd show up first thing in the day, and I wouldn't have a shot list. We didn't know exactly what we were going to do. All right, we'd just go on the set, and we all shot on location. And then me and the actors would walk through the scene with the crew is gone except for maybe the cinematographer. And I liked working that way. It's like directing moment to moment. I'm not dragging, I always make fun of people who do all this work in their bedroom, right. With a shot list, or even actors practicing how they're going to do this and that. You got to leave the bedroom at home, all right? And as an actor, what you want
You know, and some actors are different, but like, you know, what I like is my method is to just invest in the character and don't worry about the text. Just invest in the character, and when you show up, you're the character, and there you go. Same thing as a director, but instead of investing in character, you're investing in the text. You're trusting the fact that you know this piece of material.
But like, for instance, in the case of Spawn Ranch, we lived the scene. Brad drove up in the Cadillac, and we just little by little worked our way to that house until we got the house. And then when we got to the house, we shot the house. And when we were done, we little by little worked our way down the stairs until we got back to the Cadillac again. And there wasn't any ever, it was like each shot dictated the next shot. It was literally following the action as need be.
You do that? You know, that's not my car. That's my boss's car.
One of my favorite quotes you gave me on directing was, sometimes being a good director is just being a good audience. Mm-hmm. You know, what pieces of advice would you give a filmmaker on how to work with actors?
One, don't be intimidated by your actors. Don't be scared. You're there to find it together. But I actually think one of the best things that a film director today can do for an actor is not be stuck in video village. Mm-hmm. Not be watching it on a monitor, not be watching it on a TV set, sitting in a chair, oftentimes in a whole other room.
Right.
Than where the scene's taking place. I mean, that's a fairly new phenomenon, and it's completely taken over. Yeah. And I mean, so much so that I really wouldn't want to be starting all over again as an actor with the directors watching my work from another room. Hey, do this. Do a camera left. Could you tell him to go and do a camera left?
Right.
I think you should be sitting right by the camera. Action. If you watch the acting right next to the camera, right in front of the actors, it's as if they are acting just and solely and utterly only for you. The rest of the crew doesn't matter. The audience later in the theater doesn't matter. It's a million miles away. Maybe it will never happen. They are acting only for you. When you're standing there by the camera, and they've all acted in front of you, when you say cut, they all turn and look at you. What do you think?
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Let's do one more like that. That was a great one.
Cool.